So tonight on SPiT, we get to have a chat with guitarist Tim Aldridge of the almighty ABRAMELIN, who've just released their first album in 20 years, the extremely brutal Never Enough Snuff. Tim, congrats on the success of the release. How you going, man?
Good, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries at all. So ABRAMELIN, going hard since '88. Man, what's driven you guys back into the studio after like 20 years?
I suppose when we sort of stopped, we didn't really sort of mean to stop. We just sort of parted ways at the end of 2002.
Yep.
And we just didn't call each other for a while, and everyone sort of went off doing their own thing. A few guys had kids and all that sort of stuff. And it's, I suppose what got us back together, or what got me writing again, was I started playing in some other bands, and they were just influencing me big time. So I wanted to get my own stuff out there. So I just started writing New ABRAMELIN stuff, started doing about 10 years ago.
Right, there you go.
Yeah.
So, I think I'll abbreviate the album title for my next question. Where did you guys record Snuff?
All over. Dave recorded his drums in Tassie with his brother engineering in Tasmania. Matt and I recorded the guitars at Holes and Corners Studio in South Bank in Melbourne with Sam Johnson.
Yeah.
Rob recorded his bass at his own house. And Simon did his vocals in Sylvan. And I can't remember the name of the studio, but so we were all separated while doing it.
Right, wow.
Yeah.
That's a bizarre experience.
Yeah, and it was all, of course, engineered and mastered in Sweden.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of bands have been doing that lately. It finds a lot that I'm interviewing seem to be sending all their stuff off. They all track it themselves and then go off you go to Europe or somewhere like that to find someone else. But
well, for us, it was just someone who could give us the old school sound. There's a lot of amazing producers in Australia, but it's all. I think all the albums to me sound really modern, and we're not a modern band. We didn't want that sort of clinical modern sound. We wanted to try and recreate what we've always done.
Yeah.
And going to Unisound in Sweden with Dan Swano mixing it, he was the one guy that we wanted to work with forever. And it just turned out his rates were good, he was available, and he did an amazing job with it.
Yeah, absolutely, he did. The album's getting rave reviews. I think bands like Dead Kelly and Die Hard Is Murder have really helped bring in the Aussie death metal into that next generation's heads. And that more modern production has helped in a big way, I think, too. It's keeping those old school values in there, but still keeping it modern enough to not lose the younger listeners.
Yeah, that's true. They're very clean. For me personally, I still love the sound of just pushed productions where they're just at the brink of almost breaking up, you know.
Yeah.
And the modern stuff, you can hear everything perfectly, but it loses aggression to me. And I think the music is so aggressive that you really need that production to push it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, how much did you guys have production-wise, input-wise into that, and you especially tone-wise?
Well, we recorded the guitars basically live through our amps, and pretty much everyone these days seems to reamp their guitars, you know, so they can always change the sound, tweak it, whatever in the studio. And we just we want the real amp sound. You know, we liked our sound, and we wanted to use our gear. So, we just basically used live guitars, and drum-wise, we didn't want to cover everything with samples. We wanted to use mainly natural drum sounds. I think the kick drums maybe have a sample on them, just to keep it precise and clear, but everything else is all natural.
Wow.
And that was, it's like when we used to record in the 90s, we'd be recording to tape, and you didn't have all this digital stuff to try and, put samples and stuff on things. And we just wanted to do it that way to make it sound like we do sound live.
Yeah. Yeah, it's worked out really well, man. What guitars did you use for the album?
Matt and I both used Jackson guitars, Rhodes, and I think amp-wise, like Matt uses a PV6505 with a tube pedal in front of it, and I use a Randall VMAX with a Maxon Super Tube screamer in front of it, and that's basically our tones.
Wow. It's basic, but it comes through perfectly, man. It's beautiful.
Yeah, they mix really well together, the two, because they are two slightly different tones.
Yeah, absolutely. Being the main songwriter, did you have much input when it came to the others, what they played, or did you just let them go?
Oh, no, well, I mean, with the bass, Rob literally wrote everything and then gave it to us, and I mean, he wrote stuff that I wouldn't have thought of. He put different lines in there, accents. Basically, he really locks in with the drums.
Yeah.
And together, basically, as the full rhythm section that they are, they just do an amazing job, and they put all the punches where they need to be, and in spots where I wouldn't have thought of.
Yeah.
So it just brings the songs up another level. And as far as guitar goes, Matt wrote, of course, wrote all his own solos in it, and he just basically, when I was writing the songs, I would do 2 guitar tracks. So you've got sort of your main lines, then your harmony lines and stuff like that. And Matt just learned what I played. And then on the song that Matt wrote, The Peeler, he took it all. It was all his, and the only thing I wrote on that was my solo.
Right. There you go.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and have another listen to that, knowing that it's not entirely yours. There you go.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, we covered that. So you took 10 years in writing this album.
Well, it sort of developed over 10 years because, before I really started locking into writing new songs, I was playing in the Berserker in the late 2000s, and then playing in the Amenta in the Amenta from probably about 2010 to about 2012, and then it was just okay. I really want to just keep writing my own stuff. So when I finished a Euro tour with the Amenta, came back. I was all fired up and just basically sat down in my studio room at home and just started writing riffs, recording them on the computer, and putting stuff together. And they sort of developed over that sort of from 2012 to around about 2017, where they all came together. And I think maybe in 2019 I might have written one or two songs to add to the album. And that's probably when it was all finalised by then, yeah. So over about 9 years, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, I think that time frame gives the album that kind of space to be different enough throughout the songs.
Yeah, as I'm listening to different stuff over the years, I'd get bits of influences from different bands, and it would make me think of different ideas and riffs, and also to sort of tweak up riffs that I already had. I'd think, oh, hang on, that can go a little bit more in a certain different direction, or the end can finish off differently, just from being influenced from other songs.
Yeah, absolutely. And what bands are you listening to at the moment?
Oh, geez, I'm still going back to old school. I really do. I mean, I listen to a lot of new stuff, and the new Warbringer album's really good. Yep. For thrash metal and that. I still go back to every Saturday night. I find myself having a few drinks, pulling out the old early Morbid Angel demos or first album, listening to any Death songs really. Still love it. Goat Whore have always been one of my favourite bands. Yep. So, and it's just so many catchy riffs. The new Werewolves album that Matt and Dave have done, man, that's blowing me away. And they've just recorded a second one.
Right, there we go. I'll have to go and check that out.
Yeah, man, it's amazing. It's just, I don't know how Matt does it. He pulls out 20 riffs a day, and they're all killer, So that's what I'm listening to at the moment. Not spending too much time listening to a lot of music.
Yeah. Are you still doing anything with Berserker, or?
No. I've been out of them since probably about end of 2010.
Right.
I know that Matt Wilcock has, I think, rejoined again with Ed Lacey and Sam Bean with Luke Kenny, and I think they're were in the process of recording new material for the Berserker, so it's going to be a big comeback for them.
Right. Crazy.
Yeah.
Who did the artwork for Never Enough? That's awesome.
All Simon's direction. Yeah. Yep. Simon, being a mad horror head, and after he wrote the lyrics for Never Enough Snuff, he wanted to incorporate the words of that song into a concept for the artwork for the album.
Yep.
And it was all his planning. He wrote me into doing it.
We've got this on tape now, so you covered it.
I was pretty nervous about it. I didn't sort of want to be all over the album and all that. And as it turned out, I think it's come out amazing. I sort of dropped my guard and have accepted it.
That's it.
It's just when I looked at it and when I saw it as a completed piece, it all made sense to me. I couldn't sort of understand where he wanted to go with it when we were doing the photo shoot and putting it all together. But then seeing the final product, I totally get it now. So, I'm 100% behind it now.
It is something I thought about earlier when he first comes to you with lyrics like that. Are you just going, this is perfect, this is brutal, and I can't imagine it any other way? Or is it just what the fuck is going on, man? What do you mean on? Like, because that's some intense shit. It really is.
Yeah. I mean, it's like he's such a mad horror head, and like it's all fiction. That's one thing, and it's all tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
When he writes lyrics and when he reads them to us at rehearsals or when we're going through them with songs, we're pissing ourselves laughing all the time because we do not take any of this shit seriously whatsoever. You know, even though I think in the back of his demented mind there may be some seriousness.
Who knows?
Purely as a fan of horror, and that's why he writes that way, you know. And I don't know anyone who writes that well actually these days.
Yeah, no, I agree, absolutely. So I'm hoping some heavy touring to support this album when the world opens up again.
Oh man, when we're allowed to, we're going to thrash the shit out of it, you know.
Absolutely. Some pent up anger.
Yeah, I mean, this what was it? Tomorrow we're actually getting a chance finally to get together and actually record a film clip for the title track. So
Awesome.
It'll be the first one we've ever done. So it's low budget, but it's going to be something to get out there and help promote the album anyway. And we're really looking forward. We haven't caught up with each other in months, so yeah, we're hanging for it. And it looks like new restrictions being back on again on Monday. This would have been the only chance we'd be able to do it for a while.
Yeah, that's it. Let's hope you get it down in time.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't do too much catching up first.
Yeah, no, exactly, man. It'll be an early start, then we can catch up later.
Yeah, that's it. So what's the future hold, man, for ABRAMELIN? After all the touring, is there going to be more music?
Yeah.
There is.
I'm already writing new stuff. Haven't submitted any to the boys yet, but once I've got, say, half a dozen there, which I've got 3 down at the moment, almost I'm finished and almost happy with.
Yeah.
So, yeah, once they're there, maybe I'll send them off to the boys, get their opinion, and we can start putting together another new album. Yeah.
Awesome. That's great to know that that's on the event horizon.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, yeah, where's the best place that people can get their hands on Never Enough Snuff and your new merch and stuff like that?
At the moment, through our Facebook site, we have a shop button.
Yep.
And that goes to Artist First Distribution, which they do all our merch and our CDs at the moment. Also available through Direct Merch, which is our drummer Dave's company.
Right, yep.
And yeah, he's got all our stuff there too. We've got patches. We've got we've got some new patches coming from Pull the Plug patches.
Nice.
So they should be ready soon too. And we're in the process now of getting the vinyl pressed. So it'll be out on vinyl, hopefully end of September we're looking at the moment. Beautiful. But yeah, don't quote me on that.
That'll be one to put up in a frame on the wall for sure.
Yeah.
Great Mother's Day present.
Of course, yeah.
Shit, yeah. All right, so awesome. Tim from the mighty ABRAMELIN. It's been great chatting with you, man. Thanks for your time. Man. And
Thank you.
Here's the latest single from ABRAMELIN's new album, Never Enough Snuff. If you dig it, go and support the guys. Buy the album, get some merch, go and see a show when they can play again finally. And here I give you ABRAMELIN with Knife Play.